Thank you for joining me at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp. Plankton is trying to steal the secret recipe to the Krabby Patty. Learn how to stop him in this How to Play video for SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton Rising. SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton Rising is a cooperative dice-rolling game for 1 to 4 players that takes about 45 to 60 minutes to play. It's designed by Patrick Marino and published by The Op. The Op sponsored this How to Play video. I'm going to cover setup and then gameplay. I've added timestamps in the video to help you navigate to different sections. If you've played any of the other Rising games from The Op, you'll find these rules fairly similar. During setup, each player chooses a team, fun, friendship, teamwork, or effort, and collects the matching home base card, deployment token, and starting friend. Starting friends are part of the Krusty Krab deck of cards. Place the game board on the table and put the Chum Bucket Plankton figure nearby. Shuffle the Krusty Krab deck of cards. These contain friends, orders, and villains, and deal 4 cards face up near the dining room side of the board and 4 cards near the kitchen side of the board. Place the deck nearby. Place the Krabby Patty ingredient tiles so they form a complete patty. The ingredient side should be face up, not the computer side. Shuffle the Plankton cards and place the deck nearby. Form a supply for the dice, the time and theft counters, and the spatula tokens. The spatula token should be face down. Now that everything is set up, you're ready to learn how to play. You and the other players are working together to fulfill orders and to keep Plankton from stealing the Krabby Patty secret recipe. The game, it doesn't have a set number of rounds. You'll be taking turns until either you win by fulfilling 7 orders as a group, or you lose in one of 3 ways. Plankton steals all 6 parts of the Krabby Patty. 10 friends have been defeated, or all the friends on one player's team are defeated. Let's take a look at a player's turn. It has 4 steps: placing your team token, flipping a Plankton card, rolling and assigning dice, and resolving dice. The first step is placing your team token in the Krusty Krab. You have to choose the dining room side or the kitchen side. The choice matters because you can only interact with the 4 cards on that side of the board. The second step is flipping a Plankton card and resolving its effects. Plankton does his worst to bother customers, interrupt orders, and steal Krabby Patty ingredients. Each Plankton card shows an ingredient and a location. For the ingredient, you place a theft token on the matching Krabby Patty ingredient tile. If the ingredient is on the computer side, Plankton has already stolen it, so instead you follow the instructions on the tile. These won't be good for you. For the location, you move the Plankton figure to the indicated place, the kitchen, the dining room, or off to the side for the Chum Bucket. If he's in the restaurant, he's going to cause trouble. You place a time counter on each friend in that location. If your team token is also in the location, all your friends get a time counter too. Then Plankton activates the abilities on any order cards or villain cards in the location. Remember, the kitchen and the dining room are different locations. When villain and order cards are activated, they'll do something that hurts you, like adding more time counters or theft tokens, or even preventing you from taking certain actions. The third step of your turn is rolling your friend dice and assigning them to cards. This is the main part of the game where you're making decisions. There are 4 colors of dice that correspond to each attribute: friendship, effort, teamwork, and fun. You have a better chance of rolling the symbol corresponding to that die. And it has a side with 2 of those symbols. You determine which dice to roll by looking at your home base card. You might also get dice as benefits from some of your friends. and you can spend spatula tokens you've gained to get extra dice for the turn. You'll roll all of your dice and then choose which ones to assign to cards. You have to use at least one die each roll, either by assigning it to a card or by discarding it. And then you re-roll any remaining dice. You'll continue that process until you've used or discarded all of your dice. You're trying to match all the symbols on a card. You can put dice on your home base card, your friends, or the friends, villains, and orders in your location. But once you place a die, you can't move it. Your home base and some of your friends have special abilities you can activate immediately if you assign dice that match all the symbols on the card. This one lets you remove a time counter from a friend. But you really want to match all of the symbols on at least one of the cards in your location. You can build up the dice on cards over several rolls. You can only activate each card once per turn, even if you have enough dice to match the symbols again. Once you've used or discarded all of your dice, you move on to step 4. In the fourth and final step of your turn, you resolve the friend dice you've assigned to cards in your location. If you've matched all the symbols on a friend card, you gain that card as a new friend on your team. If the card has any time counters on it, you remove them. If you've matched all the symbols on a villain card, you've disrupted that villain's plans. You add a time counter to the villain card, and you gain a spatula token. If you've matched all the symbols on an order card, you've successfully completed the order. As a reward, gain a spatula token. Then take the card and place it in your play area. You're now one order closer to winning the game. You just have a few more things to do before you end your turn. Return all of the dice to the supply, return your team token to your home base, and then check the Krabby Patty and the cards in the kitchen, the dining room, and on your team. If any Krabby Patty ingredients are completely filled with theft counters, Plankton has stolen it. Remove the counters and flip the tile over. Now bad things will happen when Plankton activates that tile. If any villain cards or friend cards have all of their spaces filled with time tokens, that card is defeated and placed in the discard pile. This can happen to friends in the restaurant or on someone's team. Finding ways to remove time tokens from friends is really important. Everyone immediately loses the game if a total of 10 friends are defeated, or if all the friends on one player's team are defeated. The final thing you do on your turn is draw new cards from the Krusty Krab deck to fill any empty spots in the restaurant. There should be 4 cards in the dining room and 4 in the kitchen. Now it's the next player's turn, and they'll go through those 4 steps. You keep playing until you win by completing 7 orders, or you all lose from having friends defeated or from Plankton stealing and studying the Krabby Patty ingredients. Once you play a few turns, you'll get into the flow of the game. Here are a few tips and reminders. Plankton activates in step 2, potentially adding theft and time counters. It's not good if he adds the last one to an ingredient or friend, but you might still be able to stop him by removing some during your turn. You don't check for full tiles and cards until the end of your turn in step 4. Spatula tokens can be really helpful. You can spend them anytime, on any player's turn, so you can use them to help other players. The tokens can give you extra dice, symbols you can assign to cards, and special actions like removing counters. The rulebook also has some instructions for playing the game by yourself or for increasing or decreasing the difficulty level. So that's how you play SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton Rising. Are you ready to save the Krusty Krab?